Okay, welcome everyone. Thanks for joining me on short notice on a Sunday night. I had some things that were on my mind that I wanted to talk about with you guys, and I'm going to be away for a little bit this week, so I just decided to do it tonight, and I will post the recording for everyone that couldn't join us tonight. So last week, home office, we had a couple coaches calls, and we had the home office webinar, and they have really started to push that we should be pushing everybody on sales. So I mean that seems like, hey, isn't that what we do anyway? But really putting the focus on the sales rather than the ordering or the recruiting, because really what happens is the sales drives those activities and behaviors. So there's just been a lot of talk about this. How do we drive people, and why do we really want to push the idea of sales over ordering and recruiting? So sales really leads to everything else. When you are getting started or anytime in your business and you're working on sales, you're going to be able to build your inventory and turn your inventory over more often, and have more and sell more and all that wonderful stuff. When you are selling a lot, that's also when you happen to attract more people that are going to join you for the right reason. So people that see you doing well and they want to be a part of that. So they're watching what you're doing and they're saying, oh wow, she's selling a lot of stuff. She's always having pop-ups, like she's always posting when she's having pop-ups, and wow, her hostesses got lots of free stuff, and oh, I see her selling online and she's doing, a lot of pieces in every sale. That really tends to attract the right kind of person that can see what you're doing and envision themselves following your lead. I find that when people are selling, that is like the ultimate first high, the ultimate quick high in this business. Like when you are selling a lot, that just keeps you going, and you're happy and you want to do it over and over again. It's the easiest thing to teach to other people. So once you start building your team and have teaching others under you, that is like the easiest tool and thing that you can have confidence in and be able to teach them faster. But honestly, I feel like when you can keep yourself busy selling, you have less time for the other stuff, right? So you are not as worried about, what everyone else is doing. I find that people who are selling really well tend to worry less about people who may not be following compliance. And we'll get a little bit more into that after. Things like back orders and missing items. Please understand, I am not saying that it's not a big deal. I'm not saying that you shouldn't worry about it. Big orders, missing a lot of pieces is definitely a big deal. But when you're missing a few items here and there, again, I'm not saying that you shouldn't expect to receive them. You should. But I find that people who are selling a lot tend not to worry as much about those and getting them urgently, and are able to have a little bit more leniency and just grace period with home office. I know they're working really, really hard to get that stuff out. I know that you guys are working really hard and want to have stuff to sell, so I totally understand it. Just thinking of the idea that when you're really busy selling, you have kind of less time to worry about everything else, and you're always getting that that high from the sales, and you're happy about that. So I think it tends to make you a better partner with LuLaRoe. It just really drives the idea of a healthy business where your business is self-sustaining because you can reorder based on your sales, and sales are a concrete thing to be able to set goals upon. I want to sell this many pieces or X amount of retail per week. So that's like an easy, tangible thing we can define, and then your sponsor and I or whoever else can help you reach those goals and check in on you with them. Sales are easy to be consistent about. It's the kind of thing where if you slack off for a while, it kind of scales back. But if you can just get in the habit of being consistent about it and setting your schedule, like I'm going to sell online on this night and I'm going to schedule pop-ups on these nights, it's easy to establish that consistency, and you're going to find those good results. I think, there's been concerns that Not that we're growing too fast or too big, but when people are sort of hyper focused on recruiting, they're sort of, and then not focusing on teaching those people how to sell, you sort of lose some of that long-term sustainability. So if everybody can be focused and learning on how to sell and teaching that to others and encouraging others and cheering others on, we are all going to have, better long-term sustainable, healthy businesses. So that's really the message that we've been getting from home office this week, the idea of pushing sales. So you're going to, see that. I just want you to sort of be prepared to see that more and more from your sponsors and trainers and coaches. And so then DeAnne she's sort of released a new top five tips or, behaviors that she really recommends for new consultants and all consultants, right? So these are things that you're going to want to practice if you want to get those consistent sales and grow your sales. So I wanted to talk about those with you guys and add on my additional top five for, things that I feel. So people, tend to ask, well, how did you get where you are? And I have some other behaviors that I would like to, share with you guys that I think are really important for growing your business and leading your team. So starting with DeAnne's top five, she wants to, one, encourage you to order weekly. So what happens when you're ordering weekly? You are refreshing your inventory. You're turning your inventory over. You are getting your loyal customers excited because you're always having new stuff to show them. So if you want to order weekly, you know that you have to order 33 pieces when you place that order. So, making it a goal to sell that many, or, if you only sell 20 or 25, if you're still growing your inventory, we want you to be able to order that 33. So we really want to help you get in the habit, drive that idea home that you want to be having at least some sort of sale every week so that you can place an order every week. So that's one, order weekly. We should all get in the habit of doing that. Habit number two, post every single day. I've heard, some people, I know it's really hard to put yourself out there in the beginning and worry that if I post every day, am I going to drive people away from my Facebook group? Well, if you are posting every single day only about sales and items for sale, then maybe you will drive some people away. Now, I know that sounds a little contradictory to what I just said because we want to drive sales, right? But the kind of stuff that you should be posting every day are, your outfits, trying on different outfits. Guess what? You don't have to own the inventory to be able to try it on and style it. You have permission to go try on other items from your rack that are not necessarily yours. It's really fun to show people all different stuff. And hey, and then if someone loves it, and they comment on it, you can say, hey, it's yours. It still has the tag on it or whatever. So get in the habit of posting your styles every day. Here's another little hint. You could do a full week of, outfit of the day. You could do those all in one day. So don't, if you like me, because we're all busy and don't always, those of us that don't work outside of the home, we might not always get all dolled up. So say you pick a day where you have an hour with, someone else around to help you do your hair, do your makeup, put on 5 to 7 different outfits and, change your accessories here and there and call it a day. So you can post those on different days. Post what you're up to. I think it's just really important for your customers to get to know you. They are going to, that's number, we're still on 2, post every day. Sorry. So posting every day about, your life and what's going on. I think the better your customers know you, the more they can relate to you, the more they're excited for what's going on in your life, the more they're excited for when you post your inventory. I think the concept of them feeling connected to you as a person and as a friend is really, really invaluable to your business. So just remember that you're not annoying them by letting them get to know you and what's going on and the good things that LuLaRoe is bringing to your life. On that note, number 3 is wear LuLaRoe every day, right? So no one's going to be excited about it if you aren't. And no one's going to be excited about it if they're like, well, I never wear dresses or skirts, so that's only a special occasion. Yeah, we have leggings, and you might wear leggings on a lot of days, but get outside your comfort zone and show them that they can wear a skirt or a dress on a dress-down casual day. Like you can throw on a Cassie skirt with a tank top and flip-flops in the summer, and it's like you're no more dressed up than you are when you're wearing shorts, but it's giving them a different option. So we want to show them that they can be, wearing a skirt or dress and still completely comfortable and, ready for whatever activities they normally do. And it's not like you don't have to consider it dressed up. It can be casual. And by doing that, you are also building your confidence in wearing different styles and trying different things, doing something different every day. Number 4, booking 4 to 6 events per week. Wow, I know that sounds like a lot. When you think that sounds like a lot, remember that DeAnne and other women who sacrificed early on in this business, like Kimberly, they were doing like 8 to 12 parties a week, multiple a day. Yes, I know that is not realistic for everybody, but I just think, well, if they could do that many, then I should be pushing myself to, try to sell 4 times a week. So that might mean I'm doing a Facebook sale one night a week, and I'm trying to book 2 pop-ups another night. And, there's going to be something else thrown in there. Maybe it's a hosted online sale, or maybe I'm just going to do a quick Facebook Live of a box opening or of certain styles. So it doesn't always have to be a full-blown full inventory sale online. You could do, a Periscope sale or a Facebook Live sale. Remember that LuLaRoe wants you to, they don't want you to rely only on online sales, but they definitely encourage, having a mix of everything, the Periscope, the Facebook Live, the Facebook and the live pop-up, and then the vendor events or personal shopping hours or just an open house. These are all different ways that you can sell and, get face-to-face with people and practice different forms of communication and just let them get to know you. So while we do really, really value the in-home pop-up, we're completely aware that the atmosphere is changing and we want people to have comfort level in all different ways of selling and getting to know people. Number 5 is the 72-hour game plan. And in the past, we've said, we want you to commit 72-hour game plan for the first 90 days. So 72-hour game plan, if you guys are newer, we have documents on this that we can share and some tips. It's basically writing a list of 50 people that you know and contacting them and asking them to book a pop-up or come shop with you. So making those connections and reaching out to people, getting those pop-ups booked, using that list to get your 4 to 6, or however many pop-ups you're doing per week. And you want to repeat that. And so we used to say, do that for the first 90 days. Why 90 days? Because that is a great time. That's a typical time frame for being able to build your inventory and make a habit, right? So if you can do something for 90 days, it's going to become your habit. And you're going to learn so much by being consistent in those first 90 days that you'll be able to take that further. So after that time frame, it's just become habit. You've learned how to run a business and it's comfortable to you. And you're just used to the idea of treating your business like a business. But now we are saying commit 72-hour game plan to cruise. So it's funny because, LuLaRoe runs this cruise that they, consider an incentive. So you would think in typical direct sales businesses, they have to set the bar really high because it's reserved for only the top percentage of people, because why would they want to take everyone on the cruise? You guys, LuLaRoe wants to take everyone on the cruise. I mean, they have a whole ship rented out and they'd be willing to rent a second ship or more because they want us to have this, they want us to be selling so that we are happy and satisfied with our business, so that we're making money and that we're able to strengthen our families and have a better lifestyle and share that with others. So that's what they really want for us. They don't want it to be just a few people, at the tip of the iceberg that are doing these amazing top sales. They want everybody to be pushing. So the cruise qualifications, if you're newer or you're not sure, right now you have to sell $12,000 retail a month for 4 months in a row. That's the lowest qualification. There are higher qualifications for, having an upgraded room. But you want to get to those $12,000 in sales per month. So break that down, work with your sponsor, your trainer, your coach, or me, your mentor, break it down and figure out, so what does that look like per week? How many parties do I have to have per week? How many pieces do I have to sell at those parties? And make that game plan. So how many parties do I have to book and how many, people do I have to contact? So, these are some of the things that we mean when we say treating your business like a business. implementing these activities and behaviors because they are going to drive your sales. So that all made great sense to me when I was, listening to Kenny and DeAnne talk about this. But I couldn't help but go and add my additional top 5 they're sort of different behaviors that I feel were really crucial to my success, and things that I see among other leaders, and that I want you guys to also remember and try to practice when in your businesses. So my number 6, and I'm sure you've heard this one before, is do not compare. We talk all the time about avoiding the comparison trap, and honestly, it's when you get into like comparing yourself to others, it brings you down, right? You get upset with yourself. You feel like you are not good enough or not worth it. And then what happens? You dwell on that, and then you don't focus on the selling and the good stuff. You forget that everyone has different situations, right? So people have different levels of need. Some people might be out there selling more than you because they have, identified that this is a need in their life. Maybe they just have a different scenario where they need to make a certain amount of money because maybe something happened in their life and they really need that money. Maybe they are the only income, so they are treating their business different than you're treating yours, which is not a bad thing, right? It's just everyone having different situations. There's always things that we don't know about people, so just always keep that in mind, and only compare to yourself, right? So setting your goals to sell more than you did the week before, or the month before, or whatever, book more parties. So you really, it's all about, you and where you want to go in this business. And you can't let other people sort of deter you on that path. If you want to compare yourself to people that motivate you and you can use that as a motivation factor, great. So that's like this type of comparing that's healthy, but we want to avoid the unhealthy comparison. Number 7 that I came up with, and this might sound like a little bit of tough love, but if someone were to ask me, and some people have, so how did you grow this business, grow this team and become coach and become mentor? There is some sacrifice involved, you guys. And the ultimate sacrificers are like DeAnne and Kim Roylance and Brittany Hunter, who in the beginning, remember, nobody knew what LuLaRoe was. They were out there busting their butts, booking so many parties a week, knowing that they had to make this work and get the name out there. They probably did more parties than we would ever dream of doing. They dealt with more duplicates, more, they probably took longer to get their stuff made because there wasn't, it just wasn't the same. Like they were, sewing this stuff in a small factory, and there were, you guys have heard of the unhemmed maxi skirt. That is what we started with. Not me personally, it was before my time, but, think about the financial and the time sacrifice that they probably put in. And I can tell you that this has not been all easy for me. I think about weeks where I was very pregnant and I did 4 parties, and my husband, stepped in. He works full time, and he would be helping me with my inventory and watching the kids. And we'd have, like weekends where we hardly saw each other. Now you might be saying, oh my gosh, so why would anybody want to do direct sales, right? We talk it up like it's this great thing to be able to, stay home with your kids or make this extra money and have time with your family. Just to be frank, I think that the people who have done really well were not afraid to make some sacrifices, because I think of it as I'm working really, really hard now, and I see this like future that I'm building for my family and for my kids. And I'm not saying this to brag. I think there are times when I've worked too hard and maybe could have said no to people, but I always said yes, right? So, and I kept my head up. And like, if there was a party with 2 people that came and only 5 things sold, great. Hopefully those, 2 new people loved their clothes, and, hopefully they had a good time, and maybe there was a great outcome that I was unaware of. Maybe they, turned around and just had a great day the next day wearing their new dress, or, something I don't know about, that there's a way that I could have impacted their life. So I always try to think about that, where, something might have seemed really hard to me or not worth it to me, that there's, probably some greater outcome that I'm not aware of. I did a lot of parties that were far away from my home. I did, and I would, drive to these parties. When I was nursing, I would, pump in the car. hate that, you guys. But, you know, I made these sacrifices because I knew that I had to get LuLaRoe out there to everybody. And I think that that really did, you know, pay off, not just for me, but for everybody, right? Like now there's a lot of people that know about LuLaRoe. There's still a lot of people that don't, but how great is it that sometimes you get people showing up at your party and you don't even like really have to do the whole intro with them because they know and they're excited about it. And they just like know what they're looking for. And we're just becoming this like brand household, you know, brand name. And it's just a really incredible thing. And I think about, you know, when hopefully we'll get Kim Roylance on here sometime. She's the top earner in the company. She's just amazing, so humble, such a wonderful person. But she'll tell you that it was not easy, and she put everything on the line for this, you know, to be able to get where she is. So there is work. There is work involved. We don't want to sugarcoat that. On a happier note, my number 8 is kindness. I think something that really, really helped me in my business, and again, I'm not trying to brag at all, but you know, other people have told me that they notice, and or maybe this is why they shopped with me or joined my team, that I try to be kind to other consultants and think about the greater good here. So I don't want my business to take away from anybody else's business. So therefore, I've like never been one to want to undersell or anything like that, because I know that is not good for the girl next door. I want us all to succeed. I don't want one person to take away the business from anyone else. So I really always try to treat other consultants with respect and respect their businesses and their customers and all of that. That's just, yeah, that's just something I have sort of felt was like the right thing to do from the beginning. And then having kindness and compassion towards home office. I know it seems like really hard to you know, the long wait times and the back orders and all that. Like, I get it. I really understand how frustrating it is. I have a lot of stuff on back order myself. But I also have the fortune of knowing Mark and DeAnne and a lot of the people from home office. And so it is my job to pass on to you guys that they are the kindest people and they are really, really trying to fix this. And DeAnne, I mean, goes to bed crying many nights over things that have happened in the warehouse or like nasty messages she gets from newer consultants who just don't know. And I know it's none of you guys. I sure hope it's none of you guys. But so it, you know, it really does take a toll on her. And she just, if she could, she would like be our fairy godmother and wave a magic wand and fix all of this. Just remember that there's things we don't know going on. So we don't have 100% visibility to everything happening in home office. So think about if you have ever been like if you've ever done any sort of like team building or networking events and you've done like a trust game, and think about those, you know, game of trust where you have to just know that you are working with other people and you may not know the whole story, but you're going to, you know, trust that somebody else is also feeling that greater good and trying to fix this for you. So just keep in mind, we don't always know everything that's going on, and maybe we don't need to. And sometimes it's better that way. Number 9, and this is one that I've, you know, learned from DeAnne and I've grown with myself over time, would be generosity. So you guys have heard this too. Be generous with your hostesses, be generous with your customers. It does not mean, being generous doesn't mean selling things for wholesale or always giving discounts. It means, you know, giving your hostess her most expensive pieces. If you had a pop-up that only, you know, sold like 6 items for some reason, still give her a free piece for opening her home and trying to get people there. And even if you feel like she didn't try, think about maybe you giving her the free piece is going to make her a better person the next day. You never know, right? Like maybe she will be really grateful for that and try to pay it forward to somebody else. Generosity in the terms of rewarding your most loyal customers. So maybe you here and there knock off shipping for them, or if you're, you know, doing a buy 10 get 1 free loyalty program, you know, maybe throw in something extra for someone really, really great that's, you know, brought other customers to you or something like that. Maybe you're not keeping track and you just want to give someone a free pair of leggings sometimes, you know, things like that. Surprise, you know, if you can surprise somebody with free shipping once in a while. There's many, many ways to be generous. So just, you know, think about being generous and rewarding the right kinds of activities, the types of activities that are building your business and our brand. And, you're doing it out of gratitude, not trying to steal someone else's business, if that makes sense. And my number 10 is to be a learn-it-all and take every opportunity and just be hungry to learn, and be willing to learn and change. So I think, early on when I started to grow a team, and my sponsor told me, okay, so they have these leadership trainings, and, we really, you get to go and it's going to be great. I didn't go to the first one I was eligible for because I was like 38 weeks pregnant. So I didn't go to that one. That's like a good reason not, that is a fine reason to skip out on one of these things. But otherwise, you have opportunities to go to a local training near you, whether it is a home office training where they're traveling to your city, or it's other coaches and mentors putting on a training. I highly suggest that you do anything in your power to be able to go to that. Back to number 7, sacrifice. Sometimes that means, if you might have to take time off work. So if that is, feasible for you, if there's any way you can do it, please make that investment in your business if you want your business to grow. Same with the leadership training. So we have leadership trainings that are available to trainers and above. So if you are eligible, I highly suggest you get there because it's really going to build your business. You're going to, learn so much. And I think getting to spend time with other leaders is just priceless. But more importantly, I think about all of the other people who can't go that are like so hungry to go. So knowing that you have that opportunity, I would really love for you to be there, because it's, just going to help you so much. So really that idea of just being willing to learn everything. So read and get on the if you can't get on the calls, the home office, the 1 p.m., Tuesday 1 p.m. updates, that's 1 p.m. on the East Coast. They are great. You learn so much. If you can't get on because you work or it's your kids' nap time or, school pickup time, whatever, because that happens to me too. They send out very, very detailed notes that you can read. So that's, all well and good. And, just reaching up too, right? So like reaching up to your sponsor and trainer and reaching wide to your team. So there's so many people you can learn from. Please do not limit yourself to one person. We can only help you if we know that you want to be helped. And if we see you doing the right things, it's going to be much easier for us to be able to help you and guide you in the right way. So just, keep that in mind. And yeah, I think so that's what I have for my, DeAnne's 5 and my 5. And I kind of going along the lines, I wanted to go back to that one about being kind to other people and all the other consultants and respecting that. I'm going to shift gears a little bit. I'm not good at the whole segue thing apparently, but I also have been getting a lot of questions this week about the policies and procedures and what it says regarding people offering discounts via private message or, the whole email me or PM me for discount, or like how much you can offer as a discount, how to advertise that, etc. So I've gone back and I've read the policies and procedures, and it's really interesting. You guys should go check it out. What it says, LuLaRoe acknowledges that, you guys are going to be surprised. I'm going to say this out loud and you're going to be surprised. LuLaRoe acknowledges that they cannot tell you what to charge. They cannot tell you what to charge for the pieces. I think that is because legally you own the pieces and they can't really enforce or, they have no way to legally enforce that you charge certain price for their pieces. So, okay, so what does that mean? So why do we have MAP? Why do we have MSRP? So we have this anyway, right? So I think people look at that. Maybe some people read the policies or they don't read the policies and they just hear and they think, okay, well, great, I can charge whatever I want. I'm never going to get in trouble, right? So they conveniently forget what the policies and procedures does say. In a nutshell, you guys, it says don't be a jerk, okay? It says that LuLaRoe Fashion Consultants agree to uphold the integrity of the brand and to use our set pricing guidelines because LuLaRoe Fashion Consultants understand that these prices, are important to the integrity of the brand and setting a level playing field, and that is important to all consultants and the company thriving. So I worded a little bit differently, but that's essentially what it says, right? So that's where this whole thing is, where it's like open to interpretation. So what does that mean? That is why the leaders on this team are so adamant about the whole, we don't like the, don't PM me for discounts or whatever, because to me, that's being a jerk to other consultants, and that's not going to get us anywhere. I've done a whole Facebook Live on like where I feel it is appropriate and useful and rewarding to offer discounts, within the MSRP range of our, price list. So you can definitely refer to that. Again, it's things like you have to think about it. Am I doing it out of gratitude and like truly being generous and, adding kindness to someone's life? Or am I doing this to steal? Or am I doing this because I am afraid that I'm not going to sell these pieces otherwise? So there's like the right times and ways to discount, and there's the ones that do not really line up with building our brand and building up all the other consultants so that we can do this together, because we really all need to be successful for everybody to succeed. And I think it's also really important to remember that I hear a lot of like, well, why isn't home office doing anything about it? I've reported this person and they're still doing it or whatever. There's a lot of legal issues involved. Again, this goes to I'm talking again about, we don't always know what's going on. So home office has assured us that they do have, legal looking into where they need to look for these cases. Oftentimes it is hard. There have been people that their business has been shut down. So keep in mind that it has happened, that it's not all talk, but there are just often things that we don't know. It's hard to prove because they can't actually legally enforce that you charge a certain price for the product. They have to look into that gray area of, is this person upholding the integrity of the brand and respecting all consultants? So I'm not a lawyer, but I can guess, and I think you all could too, that that's probably hard to define in many cases. But please, please, please just be aware that home office is looking into these things, and it's just one of those things we don't know. But again, if you go back to focusing on yourself and not comparing and focusing on your sales, these things are not going to matter to your business. I think about all of the people that are succeeding. So it is 100% possible to succeed very well in LuLaRoe. And a lot of that has to do with like keeping your head in the right place and focusing on the right activities, the positive activities, the sales, and the aligning with home office and respecting your fellow consultants. It's when you get into that negative vibe that it just brings you down. So we strive on this team to build each other up and to give you the right tools. And to hopefully be open and, happy to help you guys with anything you need. So I know I talked really fast because it's a Sunday night and everybody wants to go to bed probably. But I am open to questions if you either want to unmute yourself and ask or, type a question. Anybody? No? Okay. Well, I hope I didn't waste your time tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. And thank you, everybody, and have a wonderful week.